Hey guys, it's Genevieve, and I am back this week with another collaboration with another wonderful artist here on YouTube by the name of Alex from SketchGecko. She and I have been following each other for quite a while now, and after I posted the first part of my collaboration with Eater FM, which just a quick update on that, I do not know when the second part will be coming, but I am doing my best to try and get back into contact with Eater. She and I are both students full-time, and YouTube is our hobby, so it can be kind of difficult for us to keep up with it when you have school looming over you, but just a quick update on that. Anyways, I'm already getting off track, but back to the video. Alex and I have been following each other for quite a while now, and after I posted the first part of my collab with Eater, she messaged me on Twitter and asked, hey, do you want to do a collaboration with me? And I responded with a very enthusiastic, hell yes! So here I am working on this collaboration, and I'm really super excited about it because ever since I received my Holbein gouache and watercolor paints for Christmas, I've been kind of on a bit of a still life kick for some reason. I absolutely hated doing them in high school, but I don't know, I've just been kind of really interested in doing them recently and kind of working with this lineless painter's style, which I never really knew I had until I started working on these. I was always a person who loved inking things and having, you know, lines and all that stuff, but I was never really the kind of artist who, you know, had a realistic style. It was always more cartoony or anime-esque, if you will, because anime is a very big influence for my art. But moving past that, when we were thinking of what we could do for this collaboration, I came up with, and I suggested the idea of doing a still life, because the difference between me and Alex in terms of our art styles is that Alex works a lot with markers and alcohol markers, to be specific, whereas I have only just recently delved into the world of alcohol markers. Not Copics, but another brand of markers, which I will probably do a video on at a later date. But I was always the kind of artist who focused more on, you know, inking and watercolors, and more recently with gouache as well, but never with markers, because I'd just kind of always been taught that using markers wasn't like an actual medium of art, which in retrospect is a really dumb thing to say, because, you know, even though you're using markers, you still have to understand, you know, colors and composition and how things work and flow, and, you know, just because you use markers instead of paint, it doesn't mean you're any less of an artist. But the interesting thing about this collaboration is I wanted Alex and I to do the exact same picture. So the piece that I am working on right now is the exact same one that Alex is using for reference, and obviously because I have kind of a wonky size paper, in relation to the very square image that we both saw on the internet, I kind of added a few details here and there. Nothing major, but just I changed a couple of things up. No big deal. But I keep getting off track. Sorry, guys. The point of this collaboration is to kind of give a comparison of how the same image, the same reference picture, can be made into two completely different and unique pieces because of A, the medium that the artist uses. Obviously I'm using gouache and Alex will be using marker, but B, because of art style and the way in which an artist makes art, you know? So I tend to like to work on these kinds of pieces in stages. So if you can tell from the editing of this video, that all of these things, all of these aspects of the piece, the pear, the picture, the grapes, the background, they're all in individual clips. And that's because after I finished working on one specific aspect, like the pear or the grapes or the background, I would stop my recording and take a break. And the reason for this is because when I was younger and I used to work on, you know, these kinds of pieces for my art classes, I used to have to work on them completely in one go. You know, obviously I'd have multiple class periods to work on them, but I didn't really have the opportunity to stop working on my piece and take a break and watch a YouTube video or, you know, listen to some music or go for a run or anything. I always had to continuously keep working, and I found that after a while, it was almost like I'd completely forgotten how to paint, and it was the most annoying thing in the entire universe. And I absolutely hated it. And I think that's the reason why I disliked working on still lifes in high school, is because after I would work really, really hard on like one corner of the piece, my brain was completely tired, and I would have had to take a break to kind of recharge and think, okay, how do I want to tackle the next stage of this piece? But I couldn't do that back in high school, and so I just kind of rush my way through the entire piece, and I would get mad and upset, and I would end up hating the pieces that I worked on, even if in the end they turned out pretty decent. And I say decent because I kind of find how I used to draw and paint back in high school a little cringy, mostly because I hadn't really figured out how I drew, and I kind of just took a lot of inspiration from other artists, but then at the same time didn't incorporate that into my own work, just kind of did stuff, I guess, is the best way to explain it. But like I said, recently I've just been on a real kick, and I've absolutely loved doing them, and I thought it would be really interesting to kind of compare how different these two pieces will come out, because I haven't seen Alex's piece yet. She offered to show me a little while ago, but I said, you know what? I want to be able to see it when you post your video, so that by the time we hopefully do a video chat talking about kind of how we, you know, went about doing our pieces and such, I can kind of, it'll like be a fresh experience, so that'll be really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her piece. So yeah, this kind of lineless art style is pretty new for me, but I've been really enjoying it, and ultimately I just thought, I want to see, you know, because you see all these artists on social media and you think to yourself, oh gosh, you know, why can't I draw like that, you know, and you try and recreate your piece, like something that they drew or something similar to it, and it looks absolutely nothing like what they drew, and you're like, oh gosh, you know, why doesn't this piece look like, you know, such and such's piece? It's the same reference picture or whatever. And I want to use this collaboration to kind of show, you know, younger or more inexperienced artists that you're never going to be able to draw something or paint something the exact same way someone else does, because drawing and painting, it's not just about, you know, sketching out some people or buildings on a piece of paper or throwing some paint onto a piece of paper. It's a lot of art has to do with the process and how an artist as an individual goes about creating their pieces. And the reason why two people aren't able to, you know, make a piece that is exactly the same is because no matter how similar those people are, their thought process and how they go about breaking down a piece and deciding what should go where or how much of a color should go here is going to be completely different. So as you can see in the video right now, I'm doing the background. I'm I'm just throwing a bunch of random colors down right now. And then later on, I go in with darker colors and kind of add shadow and value and all that stuff. But that might not be what Alex does for the background. She could, you know, go in with a solid color and then really try and make it look like a wall in a house, whereas mine kind of just looks like a bunch of colors that are thrown together. But that's the point. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to look like a bunch of random colors, but then have the value and the tones and the colors flow in a way that led your eye across the page. So on the right side, I have predominantly warm colors, warm and bright, you know, yellows, oranges. I have some kind of tans and browns. But then on the left, I go in with darker reds, blues, and some greens. And then, you know, maybe a bit of yellow if I think it's a little too dark. But that's just how I wanted the piece to look. That was my thought process. When I said to myself, how am I going to lead the audience's eyes across the page so that they see every aspect of what's on this painting, my thought was have it flow from warm to cool in the background. And so, you know, having that transition kind of, like, I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, but like I said before, it forces the audience's eyes to start at the right end where it's warm colors, and then as they look across the piece, their eye is drawn to the contrast of the cool colors on the left page. And then it kind of just makes the objects of the piece, you know, the green pear, the kind of not peachy, but cream colored picture, and then even the red grapes stand out even more. It's because of that contrast. And then to make sure that I give the objects some real world definition, I kind of make the surface that they're sitting on look like a table, but then I give the objects shadow, I give them depth. And that's kind of how I decided to go about doing this piece. And I really, really enjoyed doing it, and I'm just really, really happy with it. So yeah, that's kind of my take on this whole process for this piece. I am so incredibly happy with it. You guys have no idea how happy I am with this piece, and just how happy I am with how much I've improved as an artist since I've started this, you know, doing art on this channel. And I am so incredibly excited to see kind of Alex's take on this piece and how she went about doing it and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna blabber on anymore. I'm not sure I have anything else to say that wouldn't just be a recap of what I've said earlier, so I'm gonna leave this video here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below and subscribe for more videos like this. And make sure you check out Alex's channel. She goes by SketchGecko here on YouTube. She does all sorts of amazing pieces, and I absolutely love her work, so make sure you click the link in the description and go subscribe to her and show her some love. And as always, I will see you all next time. Bye!